Today I will be examining Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. What creates a great detective? Is it the ability to read people, or perhaps the ability to question witnesses? Some may well argue that it is only through diligence and hard work that one can become a truly great detective. While all of these considerations are important, the greatest detective in history relied on none of these things particularly. Sherlock Holmes, the great detective, is well known for his intriguing habits and sensational cases. Through his arrogance, eccentric behavior, and infinite trust in Watson, Holmes is able to use his powers of deduction to solve cases others would deem unsolvable. Holmes' remarkable eye for the smallest of details has given him the reputation of being something of a superhero. Like Holmes says, "Never trust to general impressions, my boy, but concentrate yourself upon details." With this statement, we begin to understand that Holmes' genius lies in not focusing on the obvious, but looking past it, as attention to detail is everything. Because of Sherlock's abnormal abilities, he is able to shed light on facts that would have been missed by the common eye. An example of this is shown in this video.
Tray napkin, you used to mop up the spilled coffee. Strength of the stain shows that you didn't take milk with traces of ketchup on it and around your lips and on your sleeve. Cooked breakfast, the nearest thing those trains can manage, probably a sandwich.
How did you know it was disappointing?
Is there any other type of breakfast on a train? The girl, female handwriting is quite distinctive. Wrote her phone number down on the napkin. I could tell from the angle she wrote at that she was sat across from me on the other side of the aisle. Later, after she got off, I imagine you used the napkin to mop up your spilled coffee, accidentally smudging the numbers. You've been over the last 4 digits yourself and another pence. You wanted to keep the number just now, though you used the napkin to blow your nose. Maybe you're not that into her after all. Then there's the nicotine stains on your fingers, your shaking fingers. I know the signs. No chance to smoke one on the train, no time to roll one before you got a cab here. It's just after 9:15. You're desperate. The first train from Exeter to London leaves at 5:46 a.m. You're the first one possible, so something important must have happened last night. Am I wrong?
No. You're right. You're completely...
In this quote, he was still as ever deeply attracted to the study of crime, and occupied his immense faculties and extraordinary powers of observation in following out those clues, and clearing up those mysteries which had been abandoned as hopeless by the official police. We see that all of those around Sherlock, even the person closest to him, are in awe of his abilities. As said by Watson, he was the most perfect reasoning and observing machine that the world has seen. Holmes' often strange behavior is instrumental in his brilliance, as we see when he is solving a case. An example of this behavior is seen when he is on the hunt for clues on the edge of Boscombe Pool, acting as if he was a trained bloodhound picking up a scent. His mannerisms completely change. He would travel swiftly down the trail and come to a dead stop, lay on the ground for a minute or two, searching as his nostrils seemed to dilate with a purely animal lust for the chase. It seems that Sherlock thrives so much on the game of crime solving that his behavior and even his personality can change on a moment's notice in reaction to a compelling development in the investigation. But having such an extraordinary mind is both a gift and a burden. Unfortunately, it causes Holmes to find the world very dull very fast. For this reason, Holmes will use narcotics to keep his mind occupied when there is no case to solve. Holmes' arrogance is arguably his most offensive character trait and at the same time one of his most important tools. It is Holmes' unfailing confidence in his abilities that makes him both offensive and brilliant. He also enjoys being the smartest man in the room. He takes great pleasure in speaking down to people, as if they are so simple-minded they would not be able to even understand one of his thoughts. For example, during an argument with Detective Inspector Lestrade about the facts of a case, Sherlock makes a snide comment stating, "You're right," said Holmes demurely. "You do find it very hard to tackle the facts." Holmes finds a special joy in pointing out the flaws of what he considers to be an ordinary mind. Holmes also makes a point of patronizing Watson. An example of this is found in A Case of Identity, when Holmes says, "'Pon my word, Watson, you're coming along wonderfully. You really have done very well indeed. It is true that you've missed everything of importance, but you have hit upon the method." Sherlock is telling Watson that although it's great he's learning from him, Watson will never be able to deduce facts the way that Sherlock does. Here are some more funny examples of the way Sherlock Holmes displays this arrogance.
I dislike being outnumbered. It makes for too much stupid in the room. Stupid idea. Whose idea was that?
No, don't do that. That's really not a good question.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Don't talk out loud. You lower the IQ of the whole street.
Oh, John, I envy you so much.
Your mind, so placid, straightforward, barely used.
Did you like it? No.
Dear God, what is it like in your funny little brains? It must be so boring.
I think my husband might be having an affair.
Yes. Brilliant, Anderson.
Really?
Yes, brilliant impression of an idiot.
Sherlock has chosen to focus his energies on solely intellectual matters rather than social relationships. Through his relationship with Dr. Watson, we are able to see the side of Holmes that he denies. Watson's devotion to the odd detective is what makes their relationship so special. Because of Watson's complete faith in Sherlock and his abilities, Holmes creates a willing and often blind accomplice in him. Examples of this mostly include Watson's participation in plans of which the details are only known to Holmes. It was worth a wound. It was worth many wounds. To know the depth of loyalty and love which lay behind that cold mask. The clear, hard eyes were dimmed for a moment, and the firm lips were shaking. For the one and only time I caught a glimpse of a great heart as well as of a great brain. All my years of humble but single-minded service culminated in that moment of revelation. Through his relationship with Watson, Holmes is able to express his denied feelings. The trust he confides in his only friend is unlike any other. In the previous quote, Watson is reflecting that through all his blind devotion to the supposedly cold-hearted detective, Holmes truly cares about him. It is through the eyes of Watson that we gain perspective on these unsolvable crimes. Watson is the filter through which we are able to understand the genius of Sherlock Holmes. So what does make a great detective? These four important things are the keys to how and why Holmes is able to solve cases others would deem unsolvable. His deductive powers are unmatched, and his ability to solve crime by deciphering details is what puts him head and shoulders above the rest. His eccentric behavior and infinite trust in Watson are instrumental in Holmes' success. The way his mind works, we will never know, but we will never stop trying to figure out just how he does it.